This is a Woodside Church video.
It was just over a week ago that I had an email from Sam Amara, our good friend in Nigeria, West Africa, and also a similar message from Jonathan Nathan, who's based in Liberia. Both of those messages to me were deeply concerning, and both explained how the COVID crisis is affecting their nations. And what was becoming clear was it wasn't so much the virus itself that was creating a threat for them, certainly not at the moment, but actually it was the lockdown that had been implemented in light of the crisis. Because in these nations, many people have very day-to-day employment, day-to-day sort of petty work that they're involved in. And so they work daily and they buy their food daily. And the message came loud and clear. Actually, the problem was genuine hunger and in some cases starvation. I shared this with the elders of Woodside, and we have, on your behalf, have immediately responded. And we've sent money that you've given. We've sent that to 5 different situations, actually 5 different nations in our churches in those localities. And I've had responses, incredibly heartwarming and moving responses back from our friends that are caring for those that are desperately in need today. I also shared this news with Simon Holley, who leads the Catalyst team. In fact, it came at a time when Simon was also stirred about this whole area of not only West Africa, but how we care for our brothers and sisters in our churches across the world in the poorest nations. And along with what God was speaking to Simon about when I shared Sam's email, it prompted him and the team to respond. And I'd like now to show a video that Simon has produced and the Catalyst team has produced about a new initiative that we want to really partner with. So yes, we've responded already, but actually this video gives a chance, and this initiative gives us a chance for us all to respond. I really ask, would you consider this as we consider not only the challenges for ourselves in this country, but we actually consider those that are very likely to be impacted far worse than we will. So please, I'd like you to listen to this video.
Hi friends, while we are going through this global crisis, while I've been feeling for those who are suffering in the Western world, my heart's also been going out for those in the developing world who I've really been concerned about the impact of this virus on them. And last week I was reading in Luke 16 and reading the story of the rich man and Lazarus, and lots of different things can come out of that story, but one of the take-homes has got to be this, that those who are materially well off in this life should not forget the poor, that we are called to remember the poor. And as I read that story, it provoked me again to pray for our friends and the stories that were emerging, to cry out to God. And during a coffee break, as I was praying, an email from our good friend Sam Amara in Lagos came to my attention. And let me read you some of it. It's a very difficult situation here in Lagos with the extension of the lockdown for another 14 days. I'm afraid many families will starve to death. Last week, a single mother with 3 kids called for help, saying for some days they've not eaten anything. On Monday, the leader of one of our churches called, crying that his people are starving to death. I'm running out of foodstuff. I'm running out of money to support people. And as I read these words, I was prompted to go out and pray again and say, God, please help us to help these people. And I felt the Lord speak to me and said, Simon, raise £100,000 in the next 3 weeks. And so can I ask you if you'd be willing to give into this fund? It's going to be for emergency food and medical supplies. And I'd urge you to join with us and give into it. We want to bring relief to our friends in churches in some of these countries in the developing world. And we've worked out that in many of these countries, you can feed someone for a month for between £10 to £20. And so no matter how little you can give, can I encourage you to give towards this fund? We estimate if we can raise 100,000, we can feed somewhere between 4,000 to 8,000 people for a month. And we're really wanting to stand with them in this time. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us.
For more information, visit woodsidechurch.com or follow us on social media.